Rock Me Mama.
Welcome back.
Hi. I'm Amie. Oh, wow. That was good. This is Rock Me Mama.
Great job, guys. Wow. You did really good.
Yeah, we just owned it.
This is our first episode. This is
So-
is this our 62nd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at 100, we need to do something like,
I would say we need to bring the husbands back, but that's a long way away.
yeah, we should bring them back before that. But at 100, I feel we should do something. Maybe like a travel episode.
Ooh.
It'd be fun.
Like we do an episode somewhere else and we invite people to like, we'll see.
We should definitely do that.
Anyway, Macy keeps talking so much shit that she's willing to taste my breast milk. So my husband doesn't want to taste my breast milk. I've
Wait, he
tasted
still hasn't?
no.
Nick.
I've tasted it. It
Wait,
tastes
Bill, have you?
No.
Shut up.
No.
no. Nick is grossed out, and like I get it, but like I've tasted it just to see if it's still good. You know, when you're like taste a bottle
Yeah.
and you're like, is this okay to give you?
Yeah.
Great. And it tastes like vanilla almond milk.
This is Chase has tried mine. It tastes like, we both agree on this, the milk at the bottom of like a sugary cereal bowl. You know, when you're done with the cereal and the little bit of milk that's left in it.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
that's what mine tastes like.
good
I haven't-
part.
I
Is
haven't
it gonna
tried
make
anybody
you
else's.
grossed out to like taste it like this?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Actually, I do feel like Bill was testing the temperature of his arm and
Yeah.
or was am
Okay,
I
that
just
doesn't
thinking
count.
of
You have
that?
to like take
I
a
feel like
shot.
Nick would be down to like nurse because he wants to have sex so bad. Like he'd be like, if you need me to nurse, I'll do
Yeah.
it because I just want to touch you.
Whatever you
But
need.
I've
Whatever you
had
need.
so many people try mine.
I actually might just be thinking of that scene from Friends with Ross.
I was gonna say like let's put it in like a cocktail, but then we all have kids and no one has time to like
No.
deal with any of that.
My three, Grace and Claire and Catherine, the first dinner that I went out to
I'm just
after
holding
Eli
it while we talk.
was
Just
born.
Yeah.
doing this.
After E was born, I had just finished pumping and we were at Mother's Ruin, and I was like, "Do y'all want to try it?" And Grace goes, "Yeah." And so we literally went and got 3 shot glasses, and I
Shut
just
up.
poured because I was gonna dump it anyways because we've
Yeah.
been drinking, and so I poured them 3 shot glasses, and I have a video of them still, all 3 of them. Just took a
That's
shot
what
of
you
it.
need to do with that.
And Grace was like, "Oh,
this
I get
is
it
like
now."
an ounce. This is almost an ounce.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I just put like a little. I pumped a bottle for him before I
Is
left.
that okay if I don't drink it all?
No, you don't drink it all.
Does this make us true friends?
All right, so Macy is about to try my breast milk. It is freshly pumped.
Still warm.
It's still warmish.
Oh my gosh. Put it on that wide angle, babe. Get both of them.
Get it on the wide angle.
Yeah.
How big of a sip do I have to take?
Just take a
Whatever you
little sip.
want. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
And if you want to gag, that's fine. But I think it tastes good.
She's not
I'm
gonna
wondering
gag.
if
I'm
it would-
healthy.
I'm wondering if it would. I know. I know what you eat. Like I know your
Yeah.
life.
Oh,
If this
that's
were,
a
like-
good point.
Yeah, like if this
Yeah.
were like a random. What if I just spilled it and we didn't get to this? If this was a random person, I would
Yeah.
obviously never consider. But I like literally know what you eat.
You
for
know what I
breakfast,
eat,
lunch,
and
dinner,
you know
so-
I'm healthy. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all. It's amazing.
Breast milk. Here we go.
Not warm. It's cold.
What does it taste like?
It doesn't. It tastes like what I said.
Like just sweet. Like
It's not
milk.
even like shocking to me.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't weird, I'd just be like, fuck it. You know.
Wait, let me
Like
take
it
this.
ta-
let
like
me
it-
just,
Like it's fine. Yeah, maybe Amy should drink the rest.
Yeah, it tastes like vanilla almond milk. kind of.
Literally.
Yeah. It doesn't taste gross.
No.
Like am I gonna chug it? No.
No.
Because that like kind of it just
Well,
kind of
and
like
think of all
grosses
the
me out. The
times
whole like
you-
Yeah.
thought
Oh,
of
yeah.
it does. But
Seriously, think of all the times that you've like like what you're
like
saying.
literally
Like,
we
that
milk
doesn't-
cows and drink that happily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And yet
We
for
don't
some
know
reason we're just
where
like
they're at.
ew,
Yeah.
breast milk. But it's actually magic milk.
Personally, not gross to me.
Now we're friends forever. There was a time I can't remember if this was. I think this was with Wyatt because I mean I breastfed him for so long. There was a time that Chase had a cold. He had something, and I was like, put some in my milk and because he had like
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like throat coat. It was like one of those teas,
Yeah.
you know. And he did that for a few nights, and because I was like, it's literally medicine.
I gave it to Farrah. I gave her a few ounces in a cup or
Yeah.
in a bottle because she's like regressing and
Yeah.
wanting to drink out of
Yeah.
bottles. we're not letting her, but like for this, I did when she was sick, and I feel like it helped. I mean, I don't know. But today she's like, I think I need more breast milk. I'm like, no, you're fine.
Think, it does.
Yeah.
I think
No,
it
it's
works.
like medicine. It really is.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
I mean, the pumping thing for me is absolute hell.
Yeah, talk. I mean, I know where you're at, but share with the listeners.
So he's almost 12. He'll be 12 weeks this Friday, and today is Sunday. So
which is
we have a
insane.
week more until he's 12 weeks, and that, like, I guess that's like a pretty big marker for babies. Yeah. The 12-week mark is like the differentiation between like infant and baby. Mm-hmm. He's doing really, really well, but I have the constant inner struggle of, should I just stop breastfeeding? You know, like, I just kind of want to like not do it because he's mostly bottle fed, because he's lazy and he doesn't feel like working for it. So he prefers the bottle and he asks for the bottle. He goes, aha. And I'm like, yeah, you want that bottle? Because I'll put my boob in his mouth and he's like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
He'll nurse at night sometimes, which keeps me hanging on. So he will.
Those moments are sweet.
Because he will latch at night, and he will, like, in the middle of the night feeds are nursing if we do them, if he doesn't sleep through, which he's a great sleeper. But so he nurses just enough to keep me hanging on, but really he's mostly bottle fed.
Oh, I'm just dancing because Tony sleeps well.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were trying to tell me something. I was like, is there something?
Tony sleeps well, which is the greatest.
Yeah. Can we rewind that back
gift.
and do that over again so
He
I can
sleeps.
cheers on with you?
He literally sleeps through the night.
I know. And it was so deserved.
It was earned and
It
deserved.
really was.
He wakes up, and honestly, I could leave him and he would probably put himself back to sleep, but he wakes up grunting and like wanting, and I'll just kind of wake up and do it.
Yeah.
And change his diaper if it's wet, and then put him back down, or I put him in bed with us and we sleep, because it's hard to swaddle him again after he's been up. He's just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But because I've been working and traveling, and like you guys heard last episode that I did the Meg Maroney gig, I did the CMAs with her, and then I'm going to be doing New Year's Eve with her.
Heyo.
She is a bad bitch. I'm obsessed with working with her.
You are a bad bitch.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I've sang and worked with a lot of amazing women, so I just love continuing to be able to like vocally support the dopest singers. She's really great. She really is. She's really, really, she writes all of her own stuff. She's fucking awesome and really nice, and it's a good job.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, but it is bringing me out of the house a lot sooner than I ever anticipated leaving this baby. I mean, I didn't even think I would be cool leaving him for 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm already leaving, doing overnights is like crazy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, we're not rich.
Yeah.
And we need both incomes right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't have the desire to say no to the job, to be honest, but I also don't have the choice to say no to the job, because we're in debt. We have debt.
Yeah.
We have credit card debt, like not a crazy amount, but enough to make me uncomfortable.
But you're also not just like chomping at the bit for every job. Like you've
Right.
accepted a job that's incredibly
Really great.
cool.
I didn't audition. I was asked to do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
given to me.
Yeah.
So like in that case, it was just a really cool thing that happened after 20 years of working my ass off. I get
Right.
offered really cool jobs.
right.
So, but it's hard. It's hard pumping and being away. I don't understand how women work away from their kids and constantly pump. Like,
I mean,
you did
talk
it.
about that.
You hated it. You wanted to die.
Yeah. Kind of did it,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, you did.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
The hairstylist on the job is also doing it. She has a 6-month-old, and we were pumping together in the
love
airport bathroom, and she like spilled milk all over herself. But this was her first, so she was like, I just want to breastfeed as long as possible. And I was like, I get that so much, because with my first, I did it. But let me tell you, it was COVID. I was home with her. She latched and nursed. She wanted to be on the boob 24/7. He's not on my boob. He's only on my boob maybe once or twice a day tops.
Yeah.
Out of how many fucking feeds?
Right.
And I'm pumping while he's right there. And so it is extremely uninspiring.
Yeah.
And it's discouraging. And to pump and then give, And we are combo feeding. We're doing formula too. So that's at least taking the edge off. And if he wakes up and he's like starving, which he's always like, I need it now. We can just get him a bottle from the baby Brezza. But I'm pumping so much every day. And when I'm away from him, I'm pumping constantly because I'm like squirting milk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like at Tiny Desk, I pumped during the rehearsal and everyone was laughing. They thought it was they were like, this is the greatest thing. Nobody's ever pumped.
Oh,
so I was like,
awesome.
had the pumps on and
that.
the camera crew and the sound crew, they were like, dude, that's dope. I was like, well, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I'm
It is
squirting
dope,
milk.
It is dope.
But I'm
Anyone
not
thirsty?
enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it.
It's great for your throat. It's great for your vocal cords. Anyone thirsty?
Yeah, anyone want some milk? And I was dumping it because I didn't have a cooler.
Yeah.
The girl that I was with had a cooler and I was like, that's great that you're able to save it. I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
Like,
You're doing
it's
it
a lot of
so
stress.
you don't explode. Yeah.
I'm doing it so that I don't explode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly, I feel like I'm literally the only one talking in this episode, but I'm constantly just battling myself. Should I just stop?
Yeah.
Should I just cut my losses now? And then he'll latch and it fucks my whole,
know.
like I told Morgan, me and Morg were hanging out and I was like, I'm done. I'm going to start being done. And then that night he latched on both boobs.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just is a mind fuck.
It is. It's going to be a mind fuck until you're done. That's like what
Farrah did it
that's
too.
What breastfeeding is.
Farrah, for the first 5 to 6 months, I was going to quit every fucking time.
Yeah.
And then once we nailed it, I was like, I'm going forever.
Yeah.
But
even then,
I
there's
didn't work
still,
with her. I
like-
wasn't working.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Annie's a different kid. I mean, it's
He's so much easier.
Every breastfeeding journey is so different, and if you're done, you're done. Like
No.
you tried to get me to stop so many times in an
know.
like in a supportive way. And so like
I wanted you to stop for you.
now, right? Well,
Because you were miserable. It was driving you
I
nuts.
was miserable, but like now it's my turn to say like you're allowed to stop. You don't owe it to anybody.
I think I will be
to
happier
be done or to keep going.
not doing it.
I'm happy to share my recent experience with
Please
Rudy.
share.
Because with Rudy, right off the bat, he was, it was the best
God,
nursing.
dreamy.
It was easy.
Yeah.
Like the best nursing relationship. Because with Hart, it was like really difficult. And then his 2-month appointment, he wasn't gaining weight. And like we had to incorporate formula and stuff. And like with Rudy, I was of course scared that was going to happen. One, it didn't happen. I was, mainly nursing, but I was also more aware and educated of like, oh, I can just like give him a little bit of a formula bottle if I'm like busy or like Bilcan or whatever.
Yeah.
Before I went back to work and started pumping, because I didn't pump because I was home all the time.
Yeah.
But then like went back to work, all this stuff, and like he was doing bottles the 3 days I was in the office, and then like, the classic people schedule over your pumping time and you're just like too busy, like you can't really move the meeting. I'm sure someone relates to that. Then it got to the point where I was never really pumping when I was in the office 3 days a week, and he was like, taking bottles fine. And then whenever we would nurse, it was like he just slowly was showing that he was like less interested. Like he was
wanted the
fine with the
bottle.
bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was probably, my supply was probably lower,
Well, and the bottle
Well,
is
also
less work.
it's easier.
It
They
is,
just
yeah.
you just prop them up
Yeah,
and feed them, and it
exactly.
comes
It's gonna
out
pour
quicker.
out.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, like, I
Yeah.
feel like, well, because the boob needs warming up.
Yeah.
When I pump, the first 5 or more minutes, nothing is coming out of the portable pump. And then it will start, and then it'll start really going.
Yeah.
And to me, it goes for 20 minutes. I always have to pump for 30 or more to get the amount that I really want.
Yeah.
Which makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Unless I'm totally engorged, and then I can pump for 20 minutes and get
Right.
a ton, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
I need
It's like
to pump so bad.
overflowing.
But
Yeah.
if you think about that, like, of course it stimulates it quicker with the baby because you're the oxytocin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still them working for something that they're not tasting right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he gets used to the fact that Nick sticks a bottle in his mouth, or I do, and he just gets to eat, and then it's
Yeah.
over.
He's like, this isn't that.
And he's had that from the beginning. And I will say that, like, we did take that pressure off immediately, because in the hospital, when I had the C-section and I was making colostrum, I just didn't feel comfortable with how hungry he was acting.
Yeah.
And I know they all act hungry and everyone's like, they don't need anything more. They don't need more. But I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a combo feed from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I did. And I'm glad that I did for my own, not even for him, for my own mental health.
Totally.
Because I really think that if I had just let it come, and I think the stress would have made my milk not come in, and it came in hardcore because I took the stress away.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll do it.
And then he's been combo feeding from the very beginning, which just really worked for our family. But now he is preferring the bottle, and it's me forcing my tit in his mouth. I mean, to be honest, I'm literally saying, you gotta, here's my tit because I don't want to fucking pump and I don't want to go downstairs to get you formula. And he's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never asking for it.
And that was kind of where Rudy got, but then at night, like you said, like he would be like, okay, yeah, this is fine.
And it's sweet at night because you have time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
it's
just go back.
just
Sometimes they
the
just go back to
cuddles.
sleep.
Yeah.
And
I know
there's
Rudy
during the day, there's always a deadline or there's another kid or there's noise. At night, if he can just lay and do that comfortably.
I mean, if you don't want to nurse, like I do think like it doesn't have to be all or nothing as far as like putting the boob in his mouth. You know what I mean? Like you can still do that in those moments, but I stopped pumping.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I know, like the more you put it on there, the more your body, because even though it's not the same, it's still saying like,
but when
this
I
demand.
did, so you guys know, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? So
Yeah, you got the.
I was getting a clogged milk duct that was so like it was, and I've had mastitis multiple times.
Yeah.
Not this time, but I've been close a couple times, and it was so hard. I went into the shower, and I hand expressed for 20 full minutes, and I shot out so much milk in the shower. I was like, oh my God, there's so much milk coming out, but nothing was coming from the clogged duct.
Yeah.
So it was still clogged, even though milk was coming from everywhere else. It just stayed right there. And there was a lump here under and a lump over right on the side.
I can like
corner.
feel it.
You can feel it, right?
Yeah.
Like when I talk about it, it hurts.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, this is not good because I'm starting to feel not great. Because as the longer it does, you start to feel those symptoms of like, oh, I'm not feeling good. And so I was like, okay, I'm about to get mastitis. So I texted all you guys, and you guys were like, did you use heat? Did you crank the pump up? Did you blah, blah, blah? And I was like, okay, let me crank the pump up and put heat.
Yes.
So I took my facial red light and blue light therapy massager, and I just cranked it for 30 minutes, was pressing it against it with the pump cranked all the way up. I got 5 ounces out of this one tit.
After hand expressing for 20
After
minutes.
hand expressing for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Think about how much that was all just in there in a like this. It was so painful. It's
so
still
painful.
bruised. Like it's bruised from everything I did to it. And just stuff like that where I'm like, God, with everything I have going on and how tired I am and just all the stuff.
Sorry, y'all.
Heart's yelling on the monitor.
Heart's yelling. I have to talk to him on the monitor.
What's he yelling?
Down and good night. I love you very much. Close your eyes, buddy.
She goes,
That's the realest.
Stop
No
yelling.
more yelling.
She went like this. Stop yelling.
I need to be quiet, but it didn't work. I think he's just going, Mommy!
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I have to tell you something.
That's what Farrah does
Anyway,
too.
but yeah, everyone's like, shut
Anyway, breastfeeding, it fucking is hard.
Joel, was that last week or maybe 2 weeks ago? Because I've only been done for what, like 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
Maybe a month. It's been a month because
I
it
don't
was
even know.
November 17th.
It was
so it's
recent.
almost a month. So I think it was last week then. I had just a clogged duct, I guess, from it drying up, and it hurt so bad. But I didn't want to like express.
You don't want it to like
because
trigger
then,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so it like freaked me out because it'd been like 2 weeks already. So I was like, why am I just now?
Yeah. But it happened to me like that too.
Yeah. Well, when you said that, I was like, okay, that probably is what it is. Because I was in my head just because I have. There's
You
a
did it for
cyst
so
in this-
long.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a cyst in this boob that I have. So I have to do. It's like what Danny was talking about last week. I have to do. What's it called? Every 6 months, like MRI,
A checkup.
ultrasound,
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff. And so I was immediately like, oh my God, like, is this what it is?
Yeah.
And like literally everybody was like, it's probably just
You're like,
but
I'm
it's
dying.
scary. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, no,
But yeah, it's
and it's hard. And I mean, y'all, I would just let myself leak everywhere at night. Like,
I know, you told
I
me.
know, like you just let it happen. And
Well, I've been doing that a little more
but
where
it's
it's
not
like,
the leaking that it's the pain.
It's the pain.
I
Yeah.
know it's bad, but yeah, and it's hard because it's difficult to find the balance between like, okay, I'm going to pump just to relieve, and then like that just making
it's
matters
making it worse. Well, I reached out to my
it's like
doctor.
you can't stop because then you get mastitis. It's like, what do you do?
Well, and that's what I was gonna say is like there's a very real PTSD from mastitis.
Oh, it's-
and the second you start to feel that clot, you go into like
When I first
hyperdrive
had
of
it-
like I need to get this out
Yeah,
because I'm
you get the
going
flu.
to get
Yeah.
mastitis.
well,
Yeah.
it's so painful, but you also get the flu.
It's literally
full body
the flu, but with
chills.
a boob that you can't even like so much as
And then the baby has to suck
Brush.
out like it's
Yeah,
it's
that's intense, you
traumatizing.
guys.
agonizing.
It's traumatizing.
It is.
So I reached out to my OB and I got the nurse, of course. I never get her unless I'm
Yeah.
if I actually am like, I want to talk to Kristen, then they'll put me through. But I was like, hey, do you guys have any like tips that I can't Google
Yeah.
that are like real tips? And also, do you have like maybe a medication that would make this easier?
Yeah.
And they were like, we just recommend like tapering off like you would if you did it for a long time, like just less feeds, less pumping, less whatever. And I was like, okay, it's just really hard to do it like that when he's this young because I'm
Yeah.
around him.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I'll work for 2 or 3 days or one day, but I'm mostly around him.
Yep.
You know what?
His heart flipping out.
Yeah, just Bill's gonna go over to the back corner and be like, "Shut up and stop crying."
And what he literally just went in the bathroom. Out here
Yeah,
and
he's
closed the
sorry.
door.
We're trying not to be disruptive to the conversation.
Oh,
but
Please, it's
y'all, we are
motherhood. It's a
having-
motherhood podcast.
I know.
They get it.
We are
Kids
having
wake
a
up.
night. Like I feel so bad because it's like we're like, okay, yeah, come over, and they're like 7:45, and we're like, actually 8, and then we didn't even start talking until like 8:22.
So
It's just
fine.
one of those
Really
nights.
so fine.
But
It's fine. It's a break from my life, honestly.
yeah, I mean,
You know what you
I
need
love
to
my
do?
life, but I love breaks too.
100%.
Yeah. We're just hanging out.
yeah,
We're
it's
kidding.
great.
What you need to do is get sunflower lecithin.
I just ordered lecithin or whatever. I just ordered it and I took the first one today.
Okay, I'd like kind of double down on it.
Really?
Like I'd like take it a lot. And by the way, this is not medical advice.
Yeah, like, don't quote us on this.
But if you are going to start tapering off, you absolutely must be taking this too.
Yeah.
And there's an even more powerful, I guess for lack of better words, supplement that I had to take because I had mastitis twice, remember?
Yeah.
And so after the second time, I was like, I cannot.
No, I'm
get
not doing this again. Yeah.
So you have two options. One is, or I can go get it for you. But it's at Nova Birth Services, which is in the same building as Hopewell. They have I cannot remember what the supplement is called, but it's for moms, typically with like an oversupply that are, I mean, it's literally for your situation right now.
Like
and so
trying
it's
to
a more
taper off.
powerful supplement and it's, it's all natural.
Yeah.
That helps with oversupply. So if the sunflower lecithin,
Lecithin.
anybody know how to say that?
I don't. I've never even tried, but that's what
lecithin.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, then let me know and I can go get you that.
Okay.
But the other option is at Dr. Bradshaw's office, you have to get a doctor's note for this, but your doctor could easily write this because especially since you've already talked to her about it, they can do an ultrasound. So anytime after my first bout of mastitis that I felt it coming on, I would go and get an ultrasound and because they literally just like work it out because the ultrasound sends little like shock waves.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it's, because you can only do so much with like the boob vibrator, but this like goes into it. And so like literally there were multiple sessions because I had to go so much because I had such an oversupply that this would happen to me all the time. There were multiple sessions where the knot that I felt you could feel it like broken up after. So that's another option.
Oof.
That's another
So
option.
I went to Dr. Bradshaw the other day, yesterday or the day before, because I have to just start going to him again regularly. But
He gets so many shout outs on the show.
yeah, he does.
He needs to be sponsored.
So my wrist. So I had mom wrist last pregnancy, but this time my hands are falling asleep at night. And it's because I think there's a pinched nerve or something in my neck from all the breastfeeding and all the pumping and all the holding.
Yeah.
That is like running down my arms. And I have pain on both arms that are like
Oh.
this. Last time it was my thumbs
Yeah.
and I had to get cortisone shots that didn't work.
Yeah.
And I had to wear braces for like wrist braces for a year.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she started walking, it got better
Right.
because she wanted to be held less. But I'm like sleeping in weird positions, I guess, and all the holding and all the whatever, and my hands are falling asleep. So I went to Dr. Bradshaw and I was like, hey, I think I have ALS. So he was like, okay, first of all, probably not. He's like, but let's do some tests. And he did all this like nerve tests on me, and he's like, okay, so you do not have
So
ALS.
the good news is,
He was like, but it's probably breastfeeding and having a new baby. He's like, something is compressing your disc and it's having nerve pain running down. And I've dealt with nerve pain and disc pain and all that. So I'm also kind of triggered by that because of how awful it was for me. But yeah, I mean, it's still he gave me a lot of relief when he cracked the living fuck out of my body.
yeah.
But he also was like, we should see each other more regularly and you should.
Oh, did he?
And I brought, he was like, I want to see you more. Just kidding.
Oh,
He reminds me of my brother, so I cannot be sexually attracted to him because
totally same.
he reminds me of my brother Anthony, who is coming to visit.
That's cute.
Yeah, he's very much so. So I love him and I think he's adorable, but like I don't have that.
Right. You should just go monthly. That's what we all do.
Morgan.
What did she say?
Oh,
She's
nothing.
like,
I'm just over here behind the corner. I mean, behind the
Morgan's
curtain.
behind the red curtain just making comments.
Yeah, I just said, yeah, me either.
Yeah. But no, but he's the best. But like I'm legitimately freaked out by my limbs falling asleep.
Yeah.
And I also I don't know, my arms are really right here. I don't know what this is.
Well, and think about all the
This
times
is
you're
hurting.
holding him, like, and it's not like you just get to hold him like this. Like,
No,
you're like,
he won't.
you're
He has to look
full-
out just like her.
Right. So your whole forearm, everything is tensed
Yeah.
up and like tightly.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's moms don't have
And
good
he's almost
posture.
14 pounds
Yeah.
already. He's
Yeah.
like, he's a chunk. He's a chunk.
Yeah,
It's brutal
I know,
on
it's
your
such a-
body, honestly.
It really
It
is. I
is.
forgot how much that first year
Hurts.
just wrecks you.
Everything cracks and pops. It hurts
Like
so
it
much.
just wrecks you. I am so physically
Yeah.
Yes.
debilitated at
Yeah.
all times.
My
And
knees
yeah.
with Wyatt, because the amount of times that we literally just had to like stand up and like
Yeah.
to rock him
Pop,
the
lock, and
fuck
drop
to
it.
sleep.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
still
Lock
wouldn't
and
work.
drop it.
Like there's a video that Chase has of me where it literally looks like I'm like power squatting because I'm trying to like bounce so hard,
Yeah.
but it's also like angry bouncing.
You're angry,
and
yeah.
you're like, Gah.
Yeah.
But
Nick and I have this like
But
tap
everything
out
hurts so
thing where we didn't have it locked down as much with Farah, and we should have, because there's a time where you can look at your partner and you're like, okay, you
It's
no
time.
longer can make rational decisions,
yeah.
and you might hurt my child
yeah, literally.
because it's been so bad.
Yeah.
And so now with Tony, he's so much easier, but he has fussy weeks
Yeah.
where it's like just so hard to get him down for any reason. And I'll look at Nick and I'll be like, and it's the same with Farah. Like Farah is really tough and Nick has less patience for her than I do.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm a woman and she reminds me so much of myself when I
Yeah.
was a kid. So I look at her like, okay, yes, you are crazy. Yes, you are annoying, but I understand you. Whereas
Right, like
Nick
we
is
are
like,
one.
why are you like this? But we just have this like unspoken thing where we'll look at each other and we're comfortable now saying to each other like, I'm not the right parent
Yeah,
right now.
it's time.
Like
This
I am
isn't good
not
for
the right
anybody.
parent
Yeah.
for this situation
Yeah.
because I'm angry like I would be with an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Oh,
have
and
to
I
just
think
tap
it's
out.
perfectly fine when you have to tap out. I think it's better
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
I remember at first having to do that with Wyatt, and feeling so guilty because it was
Yeah, 'cause
like
you're like, I'm the
why-
mom.
Yeah, like why do I need to tap out? But accepting the fact that like it just sometimes you literally have to. And, I think it was actually another mom that told me that because I was so just in my deepest, darkest despair of life.
It's ego too. You're like, why the hell?
Yes, it's a lot of ego.
Can't I put my kid down?
Yes, like it's one thing
as
if
the
Chase
mom
needs to tap out because
Yeah,
like he
he's the
doesn't
dad.
have this
Yeah.
you know. But for me to have to tap out felt awful. And I remember I have no idea who it was. I have no idea how old Wyatt was when I was told this. But I remember her being like, "No, sometimes you literally have to lay your baby down, even if he is screaming, crying, and leave the room."
Yeah.
and that was almost like permission for me to be like,
Oh, okay.
"Okay."
Yeah.
And we did, like Chase and I would do that. I mean, for a while there, daily.
You had
we would
to.
both have to.
Well,
do
you
it.
had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish that we would have done that with Farah because I think I would have saved myself some sanity.
Yeah.
Instead, I just upped my medication.
Yeah.
I was like, things aren't working out.
Maybe you
Can
just
you give me
needed to do
more?
both.
Thank you. Let's be on all of it. But no, like it gets really bad. And with Tony, the funny thing is Farah was like mine from the beginning because she wouldn't let anyone else touch her virtually her whole life until she was until she was like 2.5 or whatever. Tony's not like that. He loves being held by everybody. I could pass him to you. I could pass him to anyone.
God,
and he's
I
like,
love him.
We had the best little moment. I got to babysit him for like an hour the other day, and it was
Oh my
the
gosh.
most scrumdiddlyumptious hour of my life.
I was like, can you just come and help really quick? I gotta go.
Producer Bill on the screen. Producer Bill.
And Morg
it
held
was
him.
literally the best.
Morg held him the other day, and he just fell asleep.
oh,
it was awesome.
He just
He
fell
didn't
asleep
fall-
in her
he-
arms.
that's the best. I kind of wish he had.
And I was like, a little bit part of me was like, okay, that doesn't happen for like he has a really hard time falling asleep on me.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like, okay, what the hell? And then I'll give him to like Nick and he'll something about Nick's chest, he'll just fall right asleep. And Morgan was holding him in this little position that I've started to after I saw you do it, try it more. It's a little harder with like the breastfeeding kitties.
Yes, 100%.
But yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing it right.
Lest we forget the
Why can't I do it?
Yeah. Maybe it's a
No,
re-release on
like
that episode.
I understand.
I do. Like, and he's so good. It's like, but sometimes he's fussy and he wants to go down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're so tired.
Well,
I'm
and I
holding you in
know-
all the positions that I know. And then I hand it to Nick and he falls right asleep. And I'm like, he has a thing with Nick for sure. They have like
Well,
this
and
little
that's
man
good.
bond.
You should have a thing, you know.
And I prayed for that.
yeah.
Before I had him, I said, please, I want this to be like
Yeah.
Nick's buddy.
Yeah.
And it's real.
But I know like what you're feeling.
Yeah.
But it's that moment of seeing somebody else do something that is your role.
That
and
is
it's
supposed
like,
I handed him to Morgan, and in 10 seconds, he was sleeping soundly.
To be
And I was
fair,
like,
all of your kids did that on me. So
That's true.
That is true. Why
Farrah
he
did-
slept so much on you when he didn't sleep
yeah.
on anybody.
yeah,
Earl,
Morgan
too.
has some sort
Yeah.
of like mojo, baby
Yeah.
mojo. But like, I do feel with Tony that like we can sit and talk. He loves talking.
He loves to talk.
We have such a good time. He looks at me like he is literally in love with me, which is like, I die. I will leave my husband for my son.
Yeah.
Bye.
But I have a hard time putting him down. It does not work well for me. And that makes me feel kind of like a loser. Like it makes me feel defeated.
When I tell you, I know what that whole episode, which listeners, if you haven't watched, it's like episode.
It should
I
be
don't even
called
know.
Why Can't I Do It?
I think it is. I think it's called Why Can't I Do This?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
But that like when I sat there crying saying why that what you're saying is that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Of like the role that we
Yeah.
have, like all these titles and things that we should be able
Yeah.
to do when you
Like he should rest his head on my breast and fall asleep.
according to who though?
Me, according to me
Right.
and the world.
And like look, I'm preaching to the choir here. But
Yeah.
like I know
Yeah.
what that feeling
But
is
he
and
doesn't.
it doesn't feel good.
He's like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, are you tired? Are you? And Nick will be like, I think he's tired. And I'll be like, no, I think he's hungry. And then Nick's right. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you
that
have
does
the
suck. That does
intuition
suck,
with
yeah.
my son.
Yeah, that part does suck.
But it's Nick has a very strong intuition with Tony, the way I was with Farah.
Yeah. Well, and also like he's half of him too.
I know.
You know.
And I'm so happy for it. But then I
Yeah.
also feel like a little bit defeated myself.
I so get that feeling deep in my soul.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we probably need to wrap.
We
this
should
one up.
wrap it. Okay. We love you guys. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Rock, rock, rock me, mama.